Hi, everybody. It's John and Roger here. This segment we want to talk with regards to, in terms of different medias that a business can look at when they try and get their message out to the public. We want to speak about magazines. And magazines are, of course, one of the traditional formats of print that are delivered or purchased throughout the community and across the country. So in terms of its ability to get your message out as a business person, it's got some pros to it. We want to talk about both sides of it so you can get a good understanding of the balance of if you want to move forward with an ad or an ad campaign in magazines. There are different types of magazines. There are national ones that, of course, cover across the country. There are ones that are more localized. They might be sort of city lifestyle magazines. And then there's also industrial kind of trade magazines that go right to a particular industry. So if you're in the industry of heavy equipment, or if you're in the health industry, there are magazines that reach out to other members in your industry. So they all have a purpose. They tend to be used for branding purposes, where institutional advertisers, whether it be telecom, you could name major brands and pharmaceutical, they want to get a message out or get something across. They can get that message out through a purchase of magazines that have a circulation and a reach across the country.
Usually it's bought through ad agencies for branding purposes, just because their media buy has a specific audience that they want to target. So if you are a big brand like Rolex, or a car manufacturer like BMW, you know what type of demographics actually pick up and purchase magazines. So it might be a great target audience. The challenge is, if you're a small, medium-sized business, magazines are fairly expensive to advertise in. There's different prices, but you have to remember there's different sizes as well. So if you're doing full pages, if you have a national reach versus a community kind of magazine, localized magazine, the cost will differ from $3,000 upwards to $10,000, $20,000. And you can do one black and white color, one tone, three tone, knockoff tone, as well as full process color. So again, that's the pricing. You have to remember, you also have to design the ad. There might also be a fee to go about using their design team versus trying to do it in-house. And you have to have a strong message in play when you're starting to think about publishing a magazine. So you remember the cost of it is fairly expensive. Placement of the ad is also very important. So remember, back cover is prime real estate, or any of the covers are prime real estate. So that demands a more expensive cost. But also there's options that you might have. The back of the magazine, there could be a classified section or specific sections geared towards just text info. So that might be an option if you're just starting off, that you just want to get your name out there. But that's the cost. The big difference also is the reach. You have to remember, magazines get published on probably a monthly basis, sometimes quarterly, or there's some that only come out annually. So because of the cost of producing the magazine, they have to create very compelling content, editorials, and stuff that grabs people's attention, because someone's spending money to buy that magazine. So they expect very, very relevant articles that are geared towards them as an audience.
Yes, and I was going to say, the messaging that goes in your typical magazine ad is a longer term message, because if you've got a special on, or if you've got some special event, so to speak, the magazine may not tie in with the time frame of what you've got in terms of specials or something you want to get out to people. So magazines have a reach, but they might not reach the type of person you want at the right time.
So magazines probably have a little bit longer shelf life than flyers and newspapers, because people tend to keep it for weeks at a time, possibly months, and there could be also multi-purpose. So say a dental office, they might be buying magazines so the purpose of having their patients who are waiting at a waiting room read magazines while they wait for their appointment. So the reach of it, I believe, usage is a lot higher in terms of magazines. So that could be a pro as well. Right.
So it is, as I say, there are pros to it. But at the end of the day, John and I, as business people and business person, men, we always look at what, if I'm going to put the energy into this media and I'm going to put money into it, and with all the costs that are involved, what is my return on this investment? What can I expect? What will it do for my business by putting this magazine ad out?
There's also the industry magazines I want to talk about, because if you are trying to sell into, say, dentists, and you have a product that you want to, get in front of them,
Or a service, yeah,
or a service, and there's an association that, and every member of every dentist in Ontario, you can actually get in front of them by getting an ad in a magazine that they may read because they're a part of this association. It's a great targeted vehicle to get your message across, and people who are interested, they may read about you and inquire about your services if it's compelling enough at that time when they're reading that article or magazine. So it's great that it can be very focused in the vertical that you're going after. The challenge is the cost, right? I always boil down to the return on investment. If you're a business owner and you want to get your message across as with the best return on your investment, does it make sense for you? Especially if you're going after something that has a shelf life of a couple weeks or a month, and it costs you X amount, thousands of dollars for that one-time run. It could be your whole annual budget to put yourself in that one magazine. Does it make sense for you as a small business owner? When you have all these other overheads that you have to think about, staff, your rent, your product and services, there's so many other expenses that you have to consider. So here at Local SEO Search, we help local businesses get the best return on investment by getting them found organically on the map or below with as many local term keywords that you service. So we help you come out with keywords that can drive you more additional traffic to your website and help you get more calls and leads to your business.
And it should be mentioned that when someone is searching on Google, they are, it's referred to as the buying cycle. They're not just considering it, but they're now ready to purchase and ready to buy. So if and that's what we do, our specialty is getting you and your business in front of the buying public that are ready to make that purchase. So you need to be considered, and if you're going to be considered as an option to purchase a service or a product, people are really searching on the map, as John's saying, and below the map, really on page 1, a little bit on page 2, but everyone, if you ask 10 people, they're all going to say they make their decisions really with the highest ranking search results on page 1 for Google.
So give us a call here. We're located in Toronto, but we service small, medium-sized businesses across Canada. You can call us at 416-888-8756. Thank you.
Thank you.